What's up, gamers? Pro here, and welcome to another episode of Like or Dislike, where we look at some of the latest games coming out, give you a little bit of the storyline, the background of it, show you our pros and cons of it, while showing you a little gameplay at the same time. And today we are looking at the Division 2. Now, I apologize I didn't get this review up as soon as I want to. I was actually away for a few days, but I got a chance to really get into it, so let's not waste any more time. Now, the Division 2 takes place a few months after the events from the first division. The government tried to come up with a way to fight back the green poison, or the dollar flu, however you want to call it, but it ended up backfiring, and now the nation's capital is in chaos. You play as a division agent again, responding to an emergency request to come to DC and help restore order. Now, this is a third-person shooter-looter style game, where you're always grinding for better gear, unique perks, rare weapons, and more. And that's the premise of the game. Always grinding to get better gear. That's the whole premise of this game. Now, if you play the previous division, there's no JTF here. It's actually so bad that the people in the cities have built these little settlements to just survive. And you help these settlements with their own issues going on. And in turn, they send personnel to help with your base that you're operating out of so it can get up and help restore order more. So that's definitely a change from the first one. And the missions they give you really do help out. They kind of tie into the main story of it. So you're not just doing just random little side missions. So keep that in mind. It makes it stand out different from the first division. Now you have the whole capital of DC to explore, where you're fighting 3 initial factions and a new one after you complete the storyline. Now, each faction actually has very unique units to it, and their fighting styles are different, so definitely keep that in mind when you're fighting it. You have one group where they'll just rush you everybody. You have one that's very tactful, where they'll try to flank you. Where you're not paying attention, they will get around to you. You have another one that has, I'll just put it like this, devoted people that will do whatever it takes to stop you from progressing through the game, and I will leave it at that point. But like I say, each one has unique units that fight differently that you won't see in other ones, that you won't see in the other factions. So you won't be able to just go after each one with the same weapons, same tactics. And I learned that the hard way. I definitely did. But there's a lot more to this game which will really help you with that. Now, like I said, there's a lot to do in this game. With the side missions actually connecting to the main storyline, you don't want to kind of avoid them. Like I said, they actually connect and help the storyline to progress further, which is pretty cool, because usually in games like this, the side missions are just what they are. They're just side missions. If it's something you're just trying to complete, an extra weapon, an extra perk, but they actually connect to the main storyline, which is a good thing. Now, a lot of things new in this game that you can do. You can fight for control points, which are like little areas that are controlled by the enemy. You can call them reinforcements to come help you take it over. And what I kind of like about it is, once you take down the boss in the control point, they actually try to rush to take it back. And if you can fight them off, you have the control point for yourself. Other things that you can do, you can stop little events going on. You can stop them from broadcasting their own information to try brainwashing people. You can stop them from executing people. There's even convoys that pop up randomly along with bounties. Now, if you remember from the first division, you have bounties. You could go after certain people. They have them here. And what's pretty unique is you have people around the city just pop up and they'll offer you bounties. And then you'll have certain time exclusive bounties where you have like 10 minutes to track this person down, or 15 minutes. And they really make the game interesting. Now, this world is extremely active. You will always have something going on, no matter if it's daytime or nighttime. And one thing that I love about this game is no matter what you're doing, you're going to run across something going on, and you can either interact with it or you don't have to. I want to say you don't have to go no more than 2 blocks without something going on in this world, and that is something I like. Now, in this division, instead of just having one dark zone, you actually have 3 dark zones, and each one is unique in its own, with unique fashion, with specific factions in them fighting for them. And they actually have areas of control in them that you can fight for to try to get. Now, the thing is, These areas of control have some of the hardest enemies, but they have the best loot. So the cost reward is definitely worth it. And you actually have perks now that can give you a fighting chance in the dark zone, whether you're going against other agents or you're going against the enemies in it. And of course, the dark zone still remains the dark zone, getting the best gear, going rogue, doing all that. And I won't talk too much more about that. I'll let you guys learn about that. But if you definitely like the dark zone from the first division, you have a lot to look forward to on this one. Now, one thing that's definitely new about this one is you can actually start clans in this one, and you can grind for weekly rewards, complete in PvP modes for the best clan awards, and you have your own area, your base too, where you can see the progress of your clan, see their status, see what kind of rewards you guys get for this week. And I thought that was pretty nice. I thought that was a pretty nice thing to add to this one. And as much as I can say, there's plenty of things to loot for in this world as well. With so many buildings actually open that you can cross between, go throughout, there's a lot of things that if you're not paying attention, you'll miss out. There's a lot of materials that you can pick up to craft for different weapons and mods. And on top of that, with the crafting the weapons and the mods, they're about still the same. You still need a certain amount of materials that you can find in the world to craft weapons and mods. But one thing that's new about that is you can actually put mods on your division tech, which definitely can give them a fighting advantage, which is really nice in my opinion. The fact that you can actually modify your division tech is a change, and I know that's something that a lot of division players wish we could have done on the first one. And going into the division tech, you have a bunch of new division tech you can use, and depending on your play style, you have the base division tech weapon that you can use, and then you have so many subcategories of how you want to use it. So there's a lot of variety in using them. So whatever your play style is, I'm sure you'll be able to find the perfect combination of division tech you can use. Now you unlock these different modes by collecting shade tech around the world, and you can also use the shade tech to unlock and upgrade your agent too. And one thing that's different about it, I'll point out, and I know it's one thing that might have bugged a lot of division players. I know it bugged me, some didn't. But you know, with your backpack in the first division, different backpacks can hold so much in it. In this one, you actually use shade tech to increase the capacity of your backpack. So regardless of whatever backpack you have now, the inventory is still the same. Now that's one thing I definitely like, because I know sometimes that'd be very annoying. You want to use a specific backpack if you're trying to build a gear set, but then you have to worry about the capacity of it because it might have a low capacity or a low inventory. So I definitely like that new feature. And speaking about collecting weapons and gear sets, they are back as well. You have different gear sets that have unique abilities, and as usual, you have certain pieces that give you different attributes. So there is definitely a good grind there. Now, along with collecting different gears, like most division players, once we collect a lot of low level stuff, we actually dismantle it for parts. This time around, you might not want to actually do that. Since you have these settlements around now, they actually give you projects that they need completed to help their settlements get better and be more self-sufficient. And you can actually turn in some of the old equipment that you're not using to these settlements, and in turn they give you a lot of XP or different crafts or new weapons or new mods. So I know it's second nature if you played the previous division to dismantle all the lower ranking gear that you're not going to use. Try to hold on to it till you get to the settlements and see what they need first before you get rid of it. Like I said, I know it's hard, especially if you did it all the time in the first division. It was second nature for you to do it, but this time, don't do it straight off. Go back to the settlement, see what they need first. And with that being said, I have to talk about this. Microtransactions are back, but it's all cosmetic, so I have to warn you about that. Now, one thing I did notice in the change in the cosmetics is the little caches that we got in the first division, how you get 3 different items in them. This time you only get 1. We can all assume obviously why you do that, so you spend more real money to get these cosmetics. I definitely don't like it. I'm not a big fan of it. And honestly, I've looked at a lot of weapon skins, and there's not many of those weapon skins I generally like. So, and I hate to say that because there was a lot of weapon skins from the first division that I grind to get. So that's just me on that one. Now, graphics wise, this game is very nice, very beautiful. Once again, your character doesn't talk, but the facial animations of all the other characters is pretty good. Their lip sync is good, the voice matching was good. I thought this time we actually be able to talk. You know, hey, even the agent and Ghost can talk. Don't always say the best thing. The voice does sound a little bit weird, but at least he could talk in it. But that might be why we don't talk in this one. I guess that was just one thing I was kind of hoping to see, what my division agent voice would actually sound like. But we didn't get it in this one. Now, the day and night cycle changes in this are very nice, especially when it's dusk or dawn. You got the light shining on you. It can actually blind you for a minute when you're trying to shoot out, and you have the environment around. Like, I was actually dealing with a firefight, and I was near a tree, and I had bees flying in my screen, and I thought that was pretty cool to have that much detail to show the world. Now, all this footage you guys are seeing is being captured on Xbox One X, and that's pretty much the game. So with that being said, let's jump into the pros versus the cons. And so the first pro we're going to look at, the combat of this game is extremely fun. There's not a moment when you're a firefighter that is not fun. Using different weapons, different division tech, trying to take an advantage of your enemy. Combat is always fun, and that's one thing that I love about this game. The next pro we're going to look at is extremely challenging, which can probably go in tune with the first one. Now, like I said, each faction have their own unique units you have to pay attention to. You can't fight them all the same, so you have to think on the fly. Sometimes you gotta change weapons. Sometimes you gotta change a different mode on your division tech. Sometimes you gotta switch the division tech depending on who you fight. So I really like that. You just don't go flying through the game. You actually gotta think before you enter most of these firefights. And the last pro we're gonna look at, there is a good balance of grinding to rewards to this game. And if you played the previous division, you probably know where I'm coming from. You know, when you play certain missions or just roaming, you get a lot of gear that was like lower level than what you played. And this one is actually pretty balanced. Most of the gear I got was either like a level below me or a level above me. So I'm not really dismantling a lot of gear unless I'm just wanting to get components or I'm turning in settlements and stuff. So that's definitely a good thing in my opinion. So with the pros done, let's take a look at the cons. So the first con we're gonna look at, you gotta deal with random enemy NPCs, and I have to explain specifically. So of course, you know, when you got a new mission you go into, you can't fast travel to it initially. You have to go to it first. And so if you're trying to get across the world that's extremely active, always something going on, enemies are going to notice you. And you know, if you remember from the first division, all you got to do is take off on a sprint and you're good. No, these guys will either chase you down regardless where you're going, or they are very accurate with their weapons and shooting you. And with the armor based system of this one being changed, your armor can get ripped apart. So sometimes you just trying to avoid them can be annoying when you're trying to go to a new mission or you're trying to unlock a safe house. The next con we're gonna look at, the missions are repetitive. Now keep in mind, this is a looter shooter game. That's pretty much how it's gonna be. You're either going to collect something, you're going to kill all these enemies, you're going to take down a certain target. Different areas, different factions, it's the same. If you're used to looter shooter games, that doesn't really bother you. But if you're not, it might bug you a little. But keep that in mind. The premise of this game is getting better gear. Not unique missions, not a real in-depth storyline. It's just the grind. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about getting this. And honestly, those are the only two major cons I can think about on the game. So if there's a third one, let me know. I know the game was a little bit buggy for me when I first started playing it, but after that, it was pretty much straight after that, so I didn't want to list that as a problem. Now, my thoughts on the game, I think this game is very, very, very good. To me, it's like they took all the good things from the first division and they basically added on to it. The fact that this world is so active, and I know I've probably said this so many times, but it's true. The fact that this world is so active, there's so many things going on, that I love that. It's never a dull moment. Playing by yourself, playing with your friends, it's always a challenge, it's always fun. So this is a game that I am happy to say that I will be grinding for. Division 2 will replace my Division grind, and I'm happy to say that. I know there was high expectations for this game, and they did it very well. But that's pretty much the end of the review. Let me know what you guys think. If you got it, what do you think about it so far? What you like, what you don't like? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We talk about stuff going on in the gaming and tech world, the reviews on some of the latest gaming tech that's out, do top 10 of the news games coming out every month, and so much more. If you guys appreciate the content, leave a like to let me know you guys like content like this, and I'll work on more reviews. And if there's a certain game you want me to review, let me know. Regardless if it's on console, PC, let me know. And if I can pick up a copy, I'll do a review on it, because that's what we guys are here for. Make sure to follow us on our social media pages so you can keep up to date what's going on with us here. Or if you want to reach out to InfamouslyTy or me, we love talking about gaming, so don't be afraid to hit us up. Catch us streaming on Twitch or Mixer. You can catch InfamouslyTy on Mixer and me on Twitch. But this is Proto, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.